Hey guys, welcome to iRock TV. As we are gearing up for Halloween, I was wondering about some of the do's and don'ts about this holiday season, and who better than my friend Ben to answer some of these questions. Check this out. Pastor Ben, I have a confession to make. I love Halloween. Halloween is like one of my favorite holidays since I was a little girl. But I don't know if it's a good thing to celebrate it, not to celebrate it. I'm a little confused. I don't know what's your take on that. Do you celebrate?
I don't. I'm just kidding. No. Well, when I was raised as a young man, I was raised in a Christian home, and I was taught to avoid Halloween at all costs, that it was somehow this bad, evil thing, and by participating in it, I would be a bad, evil person. Right. And my reading of the scriptures and how I understand it is it all has to do with the heart. And how I understand the way Christ interacted with culture has really formed the way I interact with Halloween. So for instance, if my kids want to go out and they want to dress up, I think that's fine. Because if I look at the different approaches that Christians have been known for in the past, for instance, Christians resisting culture, that they're against culture, that they're going to go out and picket culture, or did Christ transform culture? And so we can take things like Halloween, like even secular music, and depending on where our heart is at and our approach to God in that, I mean, we can participate in that all we want as long as our heart is in the right place. The Bible tells us that we need to love the Lord our God with all of our heart, soul, and mind and strength. And so as long as that's aligned, I mean, you can go overboard with how often you like to get your hair cut. But when it comes to Halloween, as long as your heart's in the right place, sure, participate, have a good time, and really enjoy it.
Why not? What, do you have a costume? I hope you do.
I do. I mean, different years. Last year, my wife and I went as zoo tamers, like lion tamers, and our kids dressed up as lions. And so we had whips and stuff. We didn't whip the kids.
Oh, I was gonna say, what went wrong there?
No, it was a lot of fun. It was really good. We our friends throw parties, and we go to those parties, and it's really a good time.
Talking about parties and the culture, me being Mexican, we celebrate the Day of the Death, El Día de los Muertos, and it's something that's very traditional. Do you think, I mean, for me, do you think it would be good to celebrate something like that? I mean, it's a tradition, and many people do it, especially being Mexican.
Well, I don't know a lot about it. And even when it comes to Halloween, a lot of people try to, I guess the word I would use is hijack Halloween and say, well, this is what it's about. And if you look up the history of Halloween, you'll see that nobody really knows what it's about. And so I'd have to study it. And again, if the Bible's calling me to be holy, for instance, there might be certain parties that I wouldn't go to because I know all the girls, for some reason, Halloween turns into
the sexy costumes.
Exactly. Let's all wear lingerie in public. And so even if I wasn't saved, I don't think my wife would appreciate me going to those parties.
I don't think so either.
So
it'd be a little bit weird.
So yeah, even as a Christian, my wife wouldn't have, my wife still today. And so I like to avoid those types of things, not because I think I'm better than them. It's just because I want to avoid any type of temptations that I might have, or the things people might say about me.
That's a good point for the guys out there. Yeah. Guys out there with husbands. Well, guys out there with wives and girlfriends, right? Yeah. I mean, if you want to stay within that relationship and be faithful and be true to God, I think it's a good point.
It's not just about Halloween. It's about everything that we do. So if there's a woman at work, a coworker, you know how they are, women at work. I'm just kidding. But you know, if there's a woman at work that you might find that you're confiding in more emotionally than your wife, then that could eventually be a problem. And the same is true with Halloween and everything that we do. It's just moderation.
Well, I've seen other churches how they celebrate Christmas and Hanukkah and in different religions. And I took a trip recently to a pumpkin patch in a church, and I thought it was kind of weird. I've never seen a pumpkin patch in a church. Is that common in religion and as Christians to have pumpkin patches?
For sure. I mean, really common, especially in churches that want to be culturally relevant, that want to reach their cultures, their places they're doing ministries in unique ways. I mean, what better way than to take something that traditionally in the past the church has resisted and bring people onto their property who otherwise might not have ever been there if it weren't for something like Halloween. So they're transforming that culture by bringing it into their church and turning it really into an outreach, which is really cool to see.
It's kind of like what Oasis does with the Christmas. I can't wait to do that. That's going to be really fun.
Yeah, I mean, we do Christmas in a real big way. We have about 50,000 families come through each year. There's Christ the Rock down the street that does a really big Halloween thing. And they get tons of people who otherwise wouldn't come if it wasn't for something like a holiday called Halloween.
Yeah.
And they're able to take that, transform it, and really make it into something that otherwise they wouldn't be able to reach their culture.
So I could dress up as one of like the witches of the Wizard of Oz, or I mean, what would be a good costume for me?
Well, for you, you could be Dorothy from the Wizard of Oz. I mean, you already have the red shoes.
Dorothy. I gotta go find my costume.
Me too.
What about you? Well, there you have it. When you guys go out there trick-or-treating and partying, be careful. You never know. Well, for me, I gotta go find myself a costume now, right? Thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and also give us your feedback. It's very important for us. Have a safe Halloween, and see you guys later. Peace.